Have you ever woken up already exhausted? Gone through your workday, exhausted? Come home, exhausted, even though, when you look back, you didn't actually do anything that extreme. You think you're burned out because of work, but you're not. Work usually only takes your physical energy. What truly drains you is the wrong people. The meaningless hangouts you don't want to attend, but still say yes to because you feel bad. The messages you don't want to answer, but still reply to because you're afraid someone might be upset. The negative conversations you don't want to hear, but still sit through, nodding along like a breathing emotional trash can. Let me say it straight. A lot of people aren't exhausted because life is too heavy. They're exhausted because they don't know how to close the door. Someone invites them, they go. Someone asks for help, they say yes. Someone complains, they listen. Someone calls, they pick up. Someone gets offended, they panic and explain themselves. Living like that. Of course you're tired. You're not being kind. You're being weak and calling it kindness. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of the greatest voices of Stoic philosophy, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Simple words, brutal truth. Because most people are doing the exact opposite. They don't control their own mind. They let an invitation control their schedule. They let someone's complaining drag their mood into the dirt. They let one judgmental look keep them awake at night. They let a message make them drop their own priorities and run to serve someone else. Then at the end of the day, they sit there wondering, why am I so tired? You're tired because you've allowed too many unworthy people to have access to your life. You live like a house with no locks. Good people can walk in. Users can walk in. Negative people can walk in. People who only remember you when they need something can walk in. They come in. Take your time. Take your peace. Take your energy and leave chaos behind. A wise person doesn't live like that. A wise person understands that peace doesn't just happen. Peace must be protected, with boundaries, with the ability to say no, with the courage to be cold when necessary, with the strength to let other people be disappointed, instead of constantly betraying yourself. In this video, you'll learn 4 lessons to stop being drained by toxic, useless relationships, how to say no to meaningless hangouts, how to stay away from negative energy, how to stop being the person who is always available, and how to use strategic busyness to protect your life. Listen carefully, because if you don't learn how to protect your energy, life will keep throwing all kinds of draining people at you, and you'll keep enduring it like a coward while calling it being nice. Lesson 1. Stop burning your life away on meaningless hangouts just because you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. It sounds simple, but most people still can't do it. They know the gathering has no real value. They know the group is just going to sit around talking nonsense, bragging, complaining, gossiping, or tearing other people down. They know that when they go home, they won't be smarter, stronger, happier, or more focused. And yet, they still get dressed. They still show up. They still sit there, fake smiling, laughing at things that aren't funny, wasting hours they'll never get back. Why? Because they're too nice to say no. No. Let's call it what it is. That's not kindness. That's weakness wearing a polite face. You think you're keeping the peace, but you're actually betraying your own time. You think you're being respectful, but you're selling your energy for cheap approval. You think you're being a good friend. But sometimes you're just scared of being judged as cold, selfish, or distant. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In modern language, that means this: if you want to live better, you must be willing to let some people misunderstand you. If you want to protect your energy, some people will think you've changed. If you want to build a serious life, you're going to miss out on a lot of unserious conversations, pointless parties, empty dinners, and shallow social circles. So what? You were not born to attend every gathering. You were not born to be available for every invitation. You were not born to make everyone comfortable while quietly making yourself miserable. Before you say yes to anything, ask yourself one question: will this make me better? Or will this drain me? If the answer is clear, stop negotiating with yourself. Say no. And don't over-explain. The more you explain, the more room you give people to argue, guilt-trip you, or pull you back in. Just say, "I've got a packed schedule right now. Let's do it another time." That's it. Clean. Polite. Final. You don't owe everyone a detailed report of your life. Mature people respect boundaries. Immature people punish you for having them. Remember, this time is living currency. Money can be made back. A lost evening cannot. A wasted weekend cannot. A year spent around the wrong people cannot. So stop throwing the best hours of your life into empty rooms with empty conversations and people who add nothing to your future. A person with discipline doesn't need to be everywhere. They only show up where it matters. Every time you say no to a meaningless hangout, you're saying yes to your own life. Lesson 2. Stay away from negative energy. Because emotions are contagious. Some people don't come to you for advice. They come to you to dump their emotional garbage. Today, they complain. Tomorrow, they complain again. Next week, it's the same story. A year later, nothing has changed. They're still blaming people, still playing the victim, still gossiping, still angry at the world, still refusing to take responsibility for their own life. And you sit there thinking you're being kind by listening. But if you keep listening to someone who has no intention of changing, you're not helping them anymore. You're just becoming a breathing trash can. Seneca once said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving." That is what a real relationship should do. It should lift both people up. It should make both people stronger, clearer, calmer. Visa. It should not be one person constantly drowning while the other person gets dragged underwater trying to save them. Negative people are dangerous because they don't destroy you all at once. They drain you slowly, one conversation at a time, one complaint at a time, one toxic comment at a time. You start the day with motivation, focus, and energy. Then you spend 30 minutes listening to someone complain about life, people, work, money, drama, and suddenly your own mind feels heavy. Their chaos becomes your atmosphere. Their bitterness becomes your mood. Their lack of responsibility starts poisoning your own standards. And the dumbest thing you can do is argue with them. Don't. A person who is addicted to misery will fight for the right to stay miserable. You give them a solution. They give you an excuse. You show them a way out. They tell you why it won't work. You try to pull them up, and they pull you down. Stoicism teaches this. Clearly, you cannot control another person's nature. You can only control your own response. You cannot force them to become positive. You cannot force them to grow. You cannot force them to stop gossiping, complaining, blaming, or living like a victim. But you can leave. When a conversation turns into endless complaining, gossip, blame, or emotional dumping, exit fast. Don't perform. Don't argue. Don't ask for permission like a child. Just say, "I've got something urgent to take care of." Short, clear, done. Don't be afraid of sounding cold. It is better to be a little cold and keep your mind clean than to be nice like a coward and carry someone else's darkness home with you. Remember, your mind is soil. The people you listen to are planting seeds in it. Don't let chronic complainers grow weeds in your head. Lesson 3. Stop being always available for people who only know how to take. There is a certain type of person who is very clever about using others. Normally, they don't ask how you're doing. They don't check on your life. They don't care if you're tired, overwhelmed, or dealing with your own problems. But the moment they need something, they remember your name real fast. They need money, they call you. They need help, they text you. They need advice, they come to you. They need someone to sacrifice time, energy, or attention suddenly. You're the first person on their list. And what do? You respond immediately. You help immediately. You drop your own priorities and run to fix their problems. Then you tell yourself, "It's fine. That's what good people do." No, that is not kindness. That is being used. With a smile on your face. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That means you don't need to become bitter, cruel, petty, or heartless, but you absolutely need boundaries. Without boundaries, your kindness becomes a public resource. People will use it, drain it, waste it, and then disappear when you need them. So stop answering every message immediately. Stop picking up every call. Stop accepting every request, especially from people who only show up when they need something from you. Learn to respond slower. Slowness is a filter. People who genuinely respect you will understand that you have a life. People who only want access to your usefulness will get irritated, guilt trip you, or walk away. Good. Let them walk. When they leave, you don't lose a real relationship. You lose a mouth that always asks, a hand that always takes, and a connection that was never built on respect in the first place. Weak people are terrified of being abandoned. Strong people are grateful when the wrong people remove themselves. Before helping someone, ask yourself, does this person respect my time? Do they value me? Or do they only value what I can do for them? If the answer is obvious, stop offering yourself up like a free service. You were not born to be an unpaid tool in someone else's life. Your kindness is valuable. Your time is valuable. Your peace is valuable. Stop giving premium access to people who treat you like a backup option. A real relationship has mutual respect. If all they do is take, and all you do is give, that is not loyalty. That is emotional exploitation. Lesson 4. Use strategic busyness to protect your peace. There are 3 kinds of busy in life. The first is real busy. You're busy working, learning, building skills, making money, taking care of your health, supporting your family, and investing in the few relationships that actually matter. That kind of busy may make you tired, but it builds you. The second is meaningless busy. You're busy replying to messages that don't matter. Busy listening to pointless drama. Busy attending empty hangouts. Busy solving other people's problems while your own life is still messy. That kind of busy doesn't make you better. It only wears you down. The third is strategic busyness. And this is what wise people use as a shield. Strategic busyness is not about being fake. It's about protecting your energy from things that don't deserve access to you. Because some people will not respect the truth. If you say, "I don't want to go," they push harder. If you say, "I'm tired," they say, "Come on, just for a little bit." If you say, "I need rest," they accuse you of changing. With people who refuse to respect boundaries, you don't owe a long explanation. You only need one clean sentence: "I'm booked right now." That's enough. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." That line hurts because it's true. Most of your time is not stolen by big disasters. It is lost through small leaks, one useless phone call, one unnecessary dinner, one dragged-out conversation, one repeated favor you never should have accepted. A few minutes a day becomes hours a week. Hours a week become years of your life, handed to people who never deserved them. The formula is simple: put yourself first. Protect a few core relationships. Reject distractions within 5 seconds. Someone invites you to something meaningless. "I'm booked right now." Someone starts dumping negativity on you. "I've got something I need to handle." Someone asks too much from you. "I can't help with that." Short, clear, final. No shaking. No over-explaining. No apologizing like you committed a crime. A person with discipline doesn't need a speech to protect their boundaries. Only weak people say no while secretly begging to still be liked. Remember this: if someone only values you when you are useful to them, that is not a relationship. That is an emotional exploitation contract. If you want peace, stop waiting for life to get lighter. Start cutting off what keeps making it heavy. Final, stop giving the best parts of yourself to the worst people in your life. In the end, you need to understand one thing clearly: you cannot control what other people think about you. You cannot control whether they feel disappointed, angry, offended, or betrayed. You cannot control whether they call you selfish, cold, distant, or different now. But you can control who gets access to your life. You can control who gets your time. You can control whose messages you answer, whose problems you take on, whose energy you allow into your mind, and who you finally decide to cut off. That is real power. Stoicism does not teach you to become emotionless. It teaches you to become sovereign over your own mind, to stop letting every invitation shake your schedule, to stop letting every complaint pollute your mood, to stop letting every judgment turn you into a slave of other people's opinions. Epictetus once said, "People are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." So stop looking at saying no as a crime. Start seeing it as an act of self-rescue. You are not a bad person for refusing a meaningless hangout. You are not cruel for leaving a negative conversation. You are not disloyal for stopping yourself from helping someone who only knows how to use you. You are simply doing what every mature person must eventually do, protecting your energy. Do not give the best parts of yourself to the worst relationships in your life. Do not try so hard to be a good person in everyone's eyes that you become a fool in your own story. Peace does not appear by accident. Peace is built with boundaries. Peace is protected by discipline. Peace is kept by the moments when you dare to say no, even when your voice shakes a little. So start small today. Say no to one invitation that doesn't deserve you. Stay silent instead of replying to one message that only wants to use you. Walk away from one conversation that is dragging your mind into the dirt. Because sometimes, the strongest way to change your life is not to do more. It is to cut off what has been quietly draining you. If this message hit you, save it. Because one day, before you soften again for someone who does not deserve access to your life, you will need to hear it one more time. Stop living like a door with no lock. Your life is your house. If you want peace, learn how to close the door.